Okay, welcome to channel viewers. Teaching point number 4. Tickle versus Giggle exposed the problem. It took 13 years, but it did. Tickle versus Giggle litigation showed the practical danger of assuming the legal boundary is self-evident. So what that means is, when they put this law in, they assumed on the relative goodwill of the transgenderists. Okay, but that hasn't happened. Okay, it's degenerated to the point where they want to they don't just want to be equal with women, they want to violate their spaces. Right? They never come in and said that when they put the law in, I can assure you. And so it hasn't been foresought. That's why you've got divine sovereign restraint supposed to be over Parliament. If it's not going to weigh up with the Judaistic Christian fundamental values in the long run, which it was never going to, because transgenderism is not a part of that, it was never going to work. You've got to understand, these are millennial, these values, fundamental Judaistic Christian fundamental values, come from God. They're not just made up by man. So when you breach them, it's going to be catastrophic. And that's what it is now, isn't it? For women, it's turned out to be catastrophic in its full form, in its evolved form. Now, am I taking away anything from... Maybe, right? Maybe what was presented to be a puppy dog has turned into a, whatever you want to describe it, a Frankenstein. The Giggle versus Tickle litigation showed the practical danger of assuming the legal boundary is self-evident. The federal court found gender identity discrimination in relation to exclusion of a female-only app, and the full federal court upheld findings of direct discrimination on appeal in May 2026. That does not mean every female app space is automatically unlawful. Well, in its intent, probably not. The boundary may exist, but it is not it may not operate automatically. Well, with Giggle versus Tickle, the lady had a let's just say a radar working across those that were coming in and out of it, finding the men so that they could keep them out of that space. Now, she didn't particularly in any way whatsoever but target Roxy Tickle, but she come up as a male and was excluded, not out of malice or anything like that, just out of, you're not a woman. Now, he identifies as a woman. So a woman's organisation says this service is for women only. A transgender applicant challenges exclusion. The organisation says this is about female privacy and sex-based protection. And the court then asks, is this exclusion lawful? Is it based on sex? Is it based on gender identity? Does an exemption apply? Has the organisation justified the boundary properly? And this is where morality alone fails. You see, morality, there is no morality in the 2013 law for women. There's no morality there because it's so far gone now that you've only got. I could sit here and say I'm a woman, and if you get on there and say no, you're not in the comments, and I can copy and paste and prove that you've said that in the comments, I can take you to court. That's how simple this is. So morality alone isn't going to beat the law. It's just not, because it's not a moral law in the sense of divine morale structure. This is a structure now outside divine morale. So this is where morality alone is going to fail against the law. Not because morality is irrelevant. See, stay with me. It's not because morality is irrelevant, but because morality is not the courtroom test. Morality is not the courtroom test. The law is. And what's the law? In its divine context, immoral. How many women, here's a reflection question, how many women are defending a boundary they assume the law still protects without first asking whether that boundary remains enforceable under current legal interpretation? Because when these women are going in to sit with their solicitors and barristers, this needs to be the first thing they got to get across. Don't go to court, go to Parliament. Go to Parliament. Don't go to court, go to the Parliament where they changed all this, and take as many people as you can. You see, defending a boundary they assume the law still protects, which it doesn't, without first asking whether that boundary remains enforceable under the current legal interpretation. And it doesn't, viewers, it doesn't. I know that's deflating and I know it's outrageous, but it doesn't. And that's why this is therapy. Because when you come to the conclusion that the law is not going to bend to divine morality, then you can say, well, if I go in there, I'm going up against morality. Morality is not going to be enough. Even God going in there and saying, hey, hang on a sec, I made male and female, they'll kick him out. Because they kicked him out when they made the 2013 amendments. Resistance check. Are women arguing from instinct while the court is operating from statute? Somebody put something in the comments. Come on. Are women arguing from instinct? Are we all arguing from instinct? It's not instinct, it's divine creation that we're arguing from, while the court is operating from statute. The court statute will kick God out. I created man and woman. No, well, whatever you created, it doesn't stick under our law. You've got to comprehend what you're up against here. Are women assuming the word woman still carries the same legal meaning they believe it carries socially? In the statute, no. No. Somebody comment. Come on. Are women prepared for the fact that transgender rights already exist since 2013? Inside the law, they are challenging. The rights are there. the rights, this is where if God went into I'm telling you, listen, if God went into that court and he said to them, look, I created man and female, man and woman, I created them, they'd say, well, that's fine and that's great, but it doesn't fit under our law. Our law's different to all that. Are women prepared for the fact that transgender rights already exist inside the law they are challenging? I'm telling you, you could have God himself going with you to court. You know, God, the Lord would probably say, look, don't waste your time with these people. Don't waste your time and money with these people. Let's get to where we can fix it. Root cause check as we come close to the end. Is the real danger that women believe the law is negotiating with common sense? Yes. When the law is exactly operating through protected attributes, statutory interpretation, exemptions, and discrimination tests. Immediate action, viewers. For those that are serious, immediate action. Listen, stop saying women have rights, because they do, and start asking which rights are legally recognised, which rights are competing, and which boundaries remain defensible in court. Because morality is not going to meet you in the court. Insanity is. And I'm not saying the judges are insane, excuse me. I'm saying the laws have been infiltrated. Without foresight. And that's why suicidal empathy doesn't work. Final consequential statement, and I'm out. The law may not explicitly remove the boundary. But if the boundary now has to defend itself against gender identity discrimination law, the boundary being, please don't come into our privacy, then women must stop arguing as though the boundary still protects itself, because it doesn't. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. And again, that's why Anna Cody's coming. And remember, she slipped. She didn't have to say, the potential that men can get pregnant and all that. What she's saying is, this law, I know how deep this law goes relative to immorality. This law will kick God out. This law will kick the Lord out. Do you understand that? And for me, why I've gotten tied up in this, because I've watched the women trying to sort this out morally, which you can't, because the whole thing's not divinely moral. You can call it moral on whatever premise you want, but it's got nothing to do with God. Nothing. You cannot morally reconcile the law with reality. It's impossible. You can't do it. But this is why I got into it, because the women are saying to these transgenderists, look, you can have 90% of what we've got and what we are, but just leave the 10%. Just leave our privacy. Just give us that 10%. That 5%, you can have the rest. And the transgenderists are going, we want it all. And we're going to get it. I'm out.